OnlyFans still belong to me. Got my money up, living on my dream. Smacking all these hoes, spread my energy. Say she got a man, don't feel her needs. Bad little bitch cold, made a nigga freeze. What's good, everybody? I'm Brandon. Today I'm about to do a video titled 10 wrestlers who killed someone. Sheesh. Y'all requested it, don't trip, you not got y'all. Listen, I already know people gonna be like, Brandon, why you haven't reacted to SmackDown? Why you haven't reacted to Raw? Guess what? I did react to it. For some reason, WWE just decided to block these. So, anyway, 10 wrestlers who killed someone. Damn. I think they mean like in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they mean like outside. Shit, they might. I have no clue. We're about to hop on into it though. It's Wednesday. I hope all of y'all have a great day. Man, continue to live life. Continue to love life. I don't care what you're going through in your life right now. Just know life continues to move on and things can always get better. You could be having the worst time of your fucking life, but continue to stay strong. You could always turn things around, always make things better. I'm telling you that. I am a testament for that. You already know I suffered from depression. I wanted to commit suicide one time in my life. Actually, 2 different times in my life I was really about to commit suicide. But anyway, let's hop into this video, man. How am I gonna just say that and say, anyway, I don't know, I don't really feel like getting too deep in it. But I just want to let y'all know, whatever you're going through, you can always make it better. Remember that. And I always tell y'all, if you feel like you ain't got nobody, you fucking got me, alright? I don't care if you a weirdo, you a loner, you a loser, it doesn't matter. I'm still your homie, you still my homie, I'm a weirdo too. It's all good. Let's hop into the video though. He didn't die from that. Why y'all shady for showing that?
Despite being predetermined, professional wrestling is one of the most dangerous avenues an athlete can go down. The risks involved are much real, and the pain and torment that wrestlers put their body through simply can't be argued against.
Man.
There is no margin for error in wrestling, as one poorly executed move could seriously hurt an opponent, or even worse, take their life. A lot of wrestlers unfortunately face problems outside of the ring. This is mainly due to them turning to drugs and alcohol to combat the sheer pain that their bodies are in, thanks to working 300 plus days a year. Sometimes a wrestler can go to the extreme and actually take the life of another individual as a consequence of this dependence on drugs and alcohol.
It sounded like he was in the middle of an argument. He was clearly agitated.
With that being said, here are 10 wrestlers who have actually...
I didn't even really think about that, but that's facts though. But I gotta fix my light. But that's facts though, like, they be going through it.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos.
So I mean, for them to really be on drugs and stuff, it's kind of like, it's a little understandable to be honest.
Number 1, the Great Khali.
He died?
During the Great Khali's WWE tenure, he attained a reputation of being one of the worst on the roster. His matches would always be met with negative reviews, and the vast majority of them would feature blunders of even basic moves. WWE even gave Khali a world title run in 2007, which contained some of the worst title matches of the Ruthless Aggression era, even when facing top talents such as Rey Mysterio and Batista. Who's gonna drop? Despite this, Khali had acquired a terrible reputation prior to WWE signing him, and the reason for that reputation is shocking. During his days as an independent wrestler, Khali was facing a man called Brian Ong for the promotion called All Pro Wrestling. Ong had attained a serious concussion prior to the match in training. However, the staff at All Pro Wrestling convinced him that he should go on to compete in the match with Khali. Khali would hit Ong with a flapjack, a basic move that is perfectly safe when executed properly and isn't performed on somebody with a concussion. Unfortunately, the flapjack resulted in Ong receiving a second concussion, which resulted in him passing away. Ong's family would sue the All Pro Wrestling promotion and be awarded $1.3 million. Khali's reputation would be tarnished, but this
he told her the Big Show?
The intention of WWE to sign the 7-foot superstar and push him to the moon. Number 2, Jimmy Snuka. WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Snuka is one of the most legendary wrestling figures of all time. He has died from the top of the cage at Madison Square Garden, continues to be played in highlight reels, and will likely continue to be showcased forever. Despite a legendary career, a dark mark will always exist on the legacy of Snuka, and this is due to the passing of his girlfriend, Nancy Argentino. Following a match in 1983, Snuka called an ambulance to attend to Nancy, but she unfortunately passed away due to injury on her brain. Snuka was the only suspect in the case to find out who was responsible for the bizarre death of Nancy, but there wasn't enough evidence to convict the wrestler of the crime. Despite this, in 2015, 32 years after the tragic passing of Nancy, Snuka would be arrested and charged for third-degree murder. However, it was ultimately ruled that Snuka was not mentally competent to stand trial and he would pass away in 2017. The case of Nancy Argent.
First degree murder is when you commit the act. Second degree murder is like you're kind of an accessory to it, right? Maybe you witnessed it, maybe you helped it out. So what is third degree? What's third degree murder? I don't know. It's like you knew it was going to happen, but you didn't stop it. Maybe that's what third degree is? I don't know.
Would remain officially unresolved.
That's crazy,
Number 3, Scott Hall. Scott Hall is one of the most famous wrestlers of all time, attaining success in WWE under the Razor
Ramon, that's that dude, man.
Later as part of the most famous factions of all time in WCW with the NWO alongside
he like a goat,
Hogan.
Isn't he?
Many fans are unaware that the legendary wrestler Scott Hall was involved in the killing of another human being. Hall would get into a confrontation with a man outside a nightclub. The man then pulled out a gun on Hall before Hall managed to attain the gun off the individual before shooting the man dead. Hall was never punished for the incident because he quite rightly claimed self-defense, meaning the case was dropped.
That is
In
self-defense.
a later interview with ESPN in 2011, Hall reflected on the incident, stating how it will haunt him forever.
I'm sure.
Number 4,
but I mean, that definitely
that
definitely was self-defense. He said a guy put a gun out on him, and he struggled with the guy. He got the gun back and shot him. Maybe you didn't have to shoot him to kill him. Could have shot him in the leg or something. But I mean, it still was self-defense.
Name in the world of professional wrestling.
I wonder if I kill a man
it's likely due to
with
negative
that
reasons. Ox Baker was involved in the death of 2 wrestlers in the early 1970s.
I'm just being real.
Twice in the last
if I had a reason like that, I would reason it out in my mind, and I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Known as
I'm
the
like,
Heart Punch,
was either me or
which
him?
was later inappropriately named the Hurt Punch. The move is a basic strike to the chest area, and if done properly, shouldn't remotely hurt the wrestler taking the move. Unfortunately, nobody told Baker this. In 1971, he accidentally hit Alberto Torres with the move, and as a result, Torres passed away from a ruptured appendix, and then later, a wrestler known as Ray Gunkel would have a heart attack in the ring following taking the move, and would die shortly after.
Jeez.
Baker would never be charged with any crimes, as they were classed as accidents.
Their wives asked me if I apologized to them about their husbands. Their husbands were not in shape.
He would continue to work until 2014 before passing away at the age of 80 that very same year. Number 5, Brian McGee. The name Brian McGee may not ring a bell to many wrestling fans. He was a relatively unknown wrestler, but he was at one stage in the WWE's developmental territory, FCW, but he would never receive a main roster call-up. McGee, however, would be in the headlines in 2013 when he brutally stabbed his ex-girlfriend to death. Even crazier is that he uploaded a picture to his personal Facebook page of his ex-girlfriend's bloody arm. McGee is now serving a life sentence for this awful act. Number 6,
McGee,
Psycho.
what the fuck?
Pro wrestling is
Why
so
would you
dangerous
do that?
One move can be deadly.
CTE.
This was evident in a match in Japan in 2009.
It gotta be, or that nigga's crazy.
Psycho would team with a wrestler called
Why the
Bison
fuck would you
Smith
stab somebody in the
against
hand and put it
Misawa
on
and
Facebook?
Shiozaki. The match was booked to go
McGee,
over 30 minutes,
you
but
deserve to be in
unfortunately
prison,
the match would end suddenly when Psycho would perform a back suplex on Misawa. Misawa was motionless and the match was instantly stopped. A doctor in attendance attempted to perform CPR, but it was too late. Misawa had already passed away. It was reported that Misawa had been wrestling hurt for an extended period of time, and Misawa landed wrong upon impact of the back suplex, which in turn severed his spinal column. Misawa was just days away from celebrating his 47th birthday, and despite his premature passing, Misawa attained an exceptional legacy in Japanese wrestling that will stick with wrestling fans forever. Number 7, Jose Gonzales. The murder of legendary wrestler Bruiser Brody is one of the most famous yet tragic stories in the history of professional wrestling. The story goes that in July 1988, popular Puerto Rican wrestler Jose Gonzales got into an argument backstage with Bruiser Brody, and this led to a physical confrontation which had tragic consequences. 2 screams were heard in the shower area of the locker room, and this led to wrestling legend Tony Atlas rushing to see what the source of the screams were. Here he would see Brody holding his stomach, while Gonzales would be seen holding a knife. Due to the sheer amount of people outside the arena, it took paramedics over an hour to attend to Brody, but his stab wound was far too fatal and he would unfortunately pass away that very day. Gonzales would claim self-defense and testify in his own defense, and he would be acquitted of Brody in 1989.
Oh, he was acquitted
Number
of
8,
it.
Verne Gagne.
Okay.
Verne Gagne had
So maybe it
attained
was
a reputation
self-defense.
as one of the most respected wrestlers of all time, mainly due to his work in the territory days of professional wrestling, and he was also known as being the owner of the American Wrestling Association. He also went on to be inducted into the WWE, WCW, and Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, which speaks volumes in just how respected he was. Despite this, in 2009, Gagne would be involved in an incident which would impact his legacy forever. Gagne got into a confrontation with a 97-year-old man, and then threw him to the ground, and the man would unfortunately later die from the injuries from the fall to the ground. Gagne was suffering from dementia.
How old was he though?
To form the necessary mental capacity required to be blamed for the incident. His crime would therefore go unpunished. Number 9, New Jack.
So, an old man killed another old man, but they said he got dementia, he's not all the way there, yeah, he's cool. Excuse me, that's insane.
New Jack has acquired a reputation for being one of the most dangerous and frankly craziest wrestlers in the history of pro wrestling. There have been several occasions where New Jack has attempted to end the life of a fellow wrestler. For instance, the mass transit incident, where he almost made a fellow wrestler bleed to death by blading him too deeply. Who could forget the time he tasered Vic Grimes and threw him off the scaffolding, which nearly ended him on the spot? Jack himself admits to being responsible for up to 4 homicides during his time as a bounty hunter, prior to getting into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
This motherfucker,
I ain't here to save the world. My only concern is putting your ass in jail and getting paid for it.
Despite Jack claiming responsibility for multiple deaths, it's important to state that these homicides haven't been verified by anyone other than Jack.
Oh, okay.
Do not hesitate to shoot your ass, stab your ass, cut your ass, run over you with a car.
And number
This
10,
motherfucker's
Chris
insane.
Benoit. Chris Benoit is one of, if not the greatest technical wrestler of all time.
Yeah, Chris
He was
Benoit,
also one of the most popular wrestlers of all time.
I
and
even know
attained
about Chris
a mass
Benoit.
following and an extremely loyal fan base. Benoit was on his way to a Hall of Fame-worthy career, including a major world title win in the main event of WrestleMania 20, when he defeated both Triple H and Shawn Michaels. However, all the accomplishments and all the admiration would be forever tarnished in the summer of 2007. Benoit was scheduled to face CM Punk for the ECW title at the Vengeance pay-per-view, but he was unable to make the event due to him claiming his wife Nancy and his son Daniel were suffering from food poisoning. But the reality was that Benoit had ended them both before taking his own life.
Yeah,
the grim realities of the situation wouldn't be revealed until a
They
day
said
or
that
two
it-
after
that they
the
think it's
pay-per-view
CTE,
event.
right?
WWE would host a Chris Benoit tribute show on the Monday
When he was
following the
40,
Vengeance
my
pay-per-view,
guy.
weirdly replacing a show that was supposed to be a tribute show for the Mr. McMahon character who'd been killed off in the storyline just a week prior. Once news came out in relation to Benoit's actions, McMahon would declare that the Benoit name would never be mentioned on WWE television ever again, and to this day, that statement was proven to be correct. It would be revealed later that Benoit had the brain capacity of an old man with dementia because of the wear and tear he had undertaken throughout his numerous years of professional wrestling. This, alongside a documented history of abusing prescription drugs, the doctor who prescribed these drugs would admit he overprescribed them to several athletes, sometimes without even examining the needs of the athlete in question. The doctor himself, who went under the name Dr. Austin, would receive 10 years in prison. But there you have it, guys.
Shout out to the homie for making this video. Great video. So, I mean, Chris Benoit murdering his family and murdering himself, that just goes to show how fragile our brains are. And like, yes, a lot of people talk shit about wrestling, like, oh, you know it's fake. Of course, listen, grown people know it's fake. We're not stupid. We know that the storylines are fake. However, people watch it because it's still entertaining. You know, we like to see niggas get flipped around and hit stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's dangerous. Look what happens. But anyway, it was a crazy video, man. I mean, RIP to the people that were murdered. RIP my nigga Chris Benoit. You know, him murdering his family and stuff. Like he said, he had dementia. I mean, like the dude said, he had dementia. He had the brain of, what did he say, an 80-something-year-old man? It was some, I don't know, an old man. So basically, CTE, man. I don't know. They got to do something about that eventually, because I'm sure so many wrestlers suffer from that. But let me know what y'all thought down in the comments.